trade deal talks between Britain and the EU could be just 2 weeks from collapse, according to an incendiary warning to Boris Johnson. This would mean the UK would leave the Brexit transition period at the end of the year without having a new trading relationship with Brussels established. Talks are currently deadlocked over the access of EU fishing boats to British waters and state aid rules. Boris Johnson has already ruled out any extension of the Brexit transition period, as suggested by several European leaders. During the transition period, Britain has retained free trade with the EU's market but still has to follow a lot of Brussels rules and regulations. The UK has also been continuing to make a financial contribution to the EU's budget. According to The Times, senior European figures have warned Downing Street trade talks could collapse unless there is progress in the negotiations over the next 2 weeks. David Frost and Michel Barnier, the UK and EU's chief negotiators respectively, are reportedly planning a series of emergency talks next week. Mr. Barnier insists Britain must explain its policy on industrial subsidies before any progress can be made. However, Mr. Frost responded angrily to this suggestion, saying Downing Street would not draw up its policies in this area on a timetable dictated to by Brussels. Speaking to The Times, a senior EU source said, "It is hard to see how we get out of this hole. Pessimism is now dominant. Unless Frost unblocks this, it is hard to see how a deal can be saved. We really are on the brink this time." Nathalie Louiseau, and MEP from France, claimed Europe won't accept any agreement that undermines its internal market. She said Brussels would never approve any agreement failing to protect the functioning of the single market. There is little time left and a real risk that last-minute initiatives fail the test. Downing Street insists Britain should be free to draw up its own industrial subsidy policy, supporting key businesses, after the transition period ends. In a statement, the government said, "After the transition period, the UK will have its own regime of subsidy control and will not be subject to the EU's state aid regime. The government will set out further detail of our domestic regime in due course."